Zion was just 17. Soft-spoken, bright-eyed, the kind of girl who wore her heart like a necklace. Out in the open, vulnerable, shining. Living in East Detroit with her mom, Sierra, and her siblings. She wasn't a runaway. She wasn't into trouble. She was just a teenager trying to finish school, explore makeup, hang out with family, especially one cousin, Jalen Brazier. He wasn't just extended family. He was her favorite. That kind of cousin you confide in, look up to, and joke with. She trusted him like a big brother. And whenever she needed to breathe, to escape the noise of her house, Zion would stay over at Jalen's apartment. No red flags, no worry. It was routine, felt safe, until it wasn't. January 4th, 2022. Cold wind was slicing through Detroit like a knife. It was one of those nights when the air feels like it's holding its breath. Zion told her mother she was going to visit her cousin again. Jalen wants to see me. Her mom hesitated for a second, that mother's sixth sense kicking in, but said okay. Zion got dressed, made her hair neat, and slipped on a jacket. Texted her boyfriend that she was going. Texted her mom that she'd be back. Then she stepped outside the house and vanished. First, it wasn't panic. She was at her cousin's, maybe asleep, maybe forgot to call. But hours turned to days, and Zion's phone, usually buzzing nonstop, was silent. No calls, no texts, nothing. Her mother started calling around. Then she called Jalen. "Hey, have you seen Zion?" Jalen's voice on the other end was calm. Too calm. He said, "No, she didn't come here." Said maybe she went to another cousin's place. Maybe she needed space. But Sierra knew her daughter, and she knew something was wrong. She pressed him. "Are you sure?" He insisted. "She didn't show up. I don't know where she is." Zion was reported missing. Flyers went up. Posts flooded social media. Detroit police opened an investigation, but the trail was cold. No surveillance footage. No witnesses. No ping from her phone. And Jalen? Still calm. Still smiling in pictures. Still pretending he had nothing to do with it. But he was lying. Zion's mom couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. She replayed every moment of that last day over and over. The way Zion hugged her goodbye. The way she said, "I'll be back." The way she trusted Jalen. And now, she couldn't shake the feeling that he was hiding something. He wasn't posting Zion's flyers. He wasn't calling to ask for updates. He wasn't searching. Instead, he avoided her. Dodged family gatherings, said less and less, until finally he disappeared too. 2 weeks later, Jalen's behavior started drawing attention. He wasn't just dodging the family, he was dodging the police. When detectives requested an interview, he stalled. When they checked his apartment, it looked scrubbed, wiped down, clean, too clean. Then they got a tip. A neighbor remembered seeing Zion enter the building that night, but not come out. The police knew they had their man. They just didn't have the proof. Yet, Jalen was brought in for questioning. At first, he kept to his story. She never came, but then he changed it. She came, but she left early. Then he cracked again. She came, but she passed out at my place. I panicked. Each story was a new version of a lie, each one darker than the last. But none of them led police to Zion. Not yet, not fully. By now, the family knew. Even before the confession, even before the court dates. They could feel it in their bones. Zion was gone. And the person who was supposed to protect her, the cousin she laughed with, shared secrets with, and trusted blindly, was the one who did this. What Jalen did next would break what little was left of them. Because the truth he finally told wasn't even the whole truth. The days dragged into weeks. No calls, no sightings, no new leads. Just one name that kept returning to the center of every whisper. Jalen Brazier. Zion's cousin. Her favorite. The last person to see her alive. But despite the swelling suspicion from her family, especially her mother, Sierra, the Detroit police hadn't arrested him. Not yet. Not without something solid. Instead, they played a slow, quiet game, letting Jalen think the storm had passed, that maybe no one would dig too deep, but someone always does. In early February 2022, over a month since Zion vanished, Jalen was called in for another interview. This time, police didn't ask him if he had seen her. They asked him to walk them through that night. Again, he told them Zion had come over like she always did. They smoked some weed, watched a movie, talked, then she left. But detectives already had a problem with that story. Zion's phone stopped transmitting completely, not long after arriving at Jalen's house. There were no Uber trips, no bus stops, no camera footage of her leaving. And that calm smile Jalen wore? Cracked, ever so slightly. He stumbled over details, changed timelines, couldn't explain why he never reached out when Zion disappeared, why he didn't even attend the vigils. He said he was shy. The family had always suspected him. Sierra had begged the police to search his house, his car, even the garage. But it took weeks of procedural buildup before investigators could push further. And when they finally brought Jalen back in, everything changed. Jalen Brazier confessed. What he said shocked even the most hardened detectives in the room. He told them Zion died that night at his house. He claimed they were smoking marijuana together when suddenly, she slumped over. Not breathing, cold, no seizure, no panic, just gone. Instead of calling 911, he panicked. He admitted to putting her body in a dumpster, a trash bin, like her life didn't matter. He claimed it wasn't murder, just fear, a stupid, thoughtless mistake. But police didn't buy it. Not entirely, because Zion wasn't some heavy drug user. She didn't have a history of seizures. And Jalen didn't even try CPR. He didn't call anyone, not even Sierra. Instead, he dumped her body and went to bed. The next phase of the investigation became a horrifying race against time. Jalen told police which dumpster he used, which day it happened. From there, they traced the garbage pickup route to the Pine Tree Acres landfill, nearly 50 miles away in Lenox Township. The landfill search stretched for weeks. Volunteers and police in hazmat suits combed through rotting trash and broken glass, looking for the smallest trace. Zion's family prayed. Her mother begged the world to help. Volunteers came forward. Even strangers cried on camera. But they never found her. Not a single bone. Not a hair. Not a trace. It was as if she had been swallowed whole by the earth. It was like searching for a ghost. Despite Jalen's confession, the environment had made recovery nearly impossible. The garbage was constantly moved, buried, and crushed under machines. The area Jalen pointed to had already been compacted. That section of the landfill, officials concluded, was now non-recoverable. Zion Foster, 17 years old, vibrant, full of life, had vanished into the ground, gone, without a funeral, without a grave. But even with no body, Wayne County prosecutors were still desperate for justice. Prosecutors couldn't charge Jalen with murder. There was no body, no autopsy, no cause of death. Without proof she was killed, and not accidentally overdosed as he claimed. Jalen Brazier faced the judge, not for murder, not for manslaughter, not even for negligent homicide. He stood accused of lying to police and tampering with evidence, for hiding the body and misleading investigators. He pleaded guilty. In his own words, he had panicked. He had freaked out after Zion allegedly passed out during their time together and later died. He said he didn't call for help, didn't tell anyone, just dumped her like garbage and went back home. The courtroom was cold, not just physically but emotionally. Zion's mother, Sierra Foster, sat in the gallery. Her eyes were swollen but dry, grief that had turned into stone. As part of the plea deal, Jalen was sentenced to 23 months in prison. Less than 2 years. The entire courtroom felt the weight of that number. 23 months. For the death and disappearance of a 17-year-old girl. Sierra addressed the court in a victim impact statement. Her voice didn't shake. It burned. You robbed us of a goodbye. You robbed her of a future. And now you stand here, and all you get is a slap on the wrist. Zion's mother called it a slap in the face. To her, this wasn't justice. It wasn't even close. Her daughter had been thrown away. Then the man who did it, her own nephew, walked away with a sentence that didn't even match the cruelty of what he'd done. She once said, "My baby was treated like garbage, and the man who confessed gets to sleep in a cell, eat meals, live. While I still don't even have her body to bury." But even as she spoke, Jalen barely looked up. Public outrage exploded. Community leaders held vigils. Candlelight protests were staged outside the courthouse. Petitions spread online calling for tougher charges. But the prosecutor's hands were tied. No body, no physical cause of death, no murder charge. Even though Jalen admitted to disposing of Zion's body, the law demands more. Without forensic evidence, a judge or jury could always doubt. What if it really was an accidental death? What if he's not lying? And so the case, legally speaking, was over. But morally, spiritually, it left a wound that still bleeds. Her mother still keeps Zion's room the same. Perfume bottles lined up on the dresser. Shoes under the bed. A poster peeling slightly on the wall. A reminder of dreams that never got the chance to be lived. "People say time heals," Sierra once told a reporter. "But time only helps you hide your pain better. It doesn't erase it." She still talks to Zion sometimes. She still waits, not for her to return, but for closure. For someone, anyone, to finally say, "We found her." Jalen Brazier served his time quietly. No major incidents. No statements to the media. He declined interviews. His lawyers said he was remorseful, but the public never saw it. Not once. He was released in April 2024, after serving less than 2 years. He walked out of prison and disappeared from public view. No apologies. No explanation. "On my way home," that's what she said. 17 years of life, reduced to 4 words and a question mark that may never be answered. Sometimes evil doesn't wear a mask. Sometimes it wears the face of someone you trust. Someone who knows your laugh, knows your secrets, knows how to make you disappear without leaving anything behind. If you found this story disturbing, you're not alone. At Trace of Evil, we believe the truth deserves to be told, even when it's uncomfortable. We cover cases the world forgot, the ones that slip between headlines, and the ones that never made it there in the first place. Be sure to subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments, and hit the bell to follow the trail of darkness we uncover each week. Because somewhere, someone is still hiding the truth. And we won't stop until we find it.